Hi, I'm Chris Collier. I'm your host for Conquer with Chris, the podcast you don't want to miss. Today I have a great guest that'll give you some clarity. Today I have Clara Capano. Clara, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. We're the double C's, Clara Capano, Chris Collier, both October birthdays. Hey, I think we're in alignment here.
I think we are too. We'll get to that, more of that in a minute. So tell them where you're from and kind of what you do.
You got it. So my primary residence is right outside of Denver, Colorado, but I'm a California girl born and raised. So I also go between my family home in the San Diego market. And I am predominantly a speaker, an author, and a trainer. And I really focus mostly working with women in business, helping to give them real strategies to lay a foundation for success, to get clarity on their purpose, their why, so that they can really know what they have to do to make them unstoppable each and every day.
Wow, that's amazing, because I found that when you combine passion with purpose, it creates power and an unstoppable power. So let's get into your story a little bit. How did all this start for you? I don't think you started off just out of the womb.
That's what I did. I just came out and I was just talking and they said, "Oh, please be quiet."
Yeah, no, I want to hear, I need some clarity.
Got it. So, my success came backwards. I actually grew up and I thought I was going to pursue, more of a traditional profession. And I thought about going to law school and I really wanted to become a judge. And my initial thought of becoming a judge was really twofold. One is I like to make money. And the second thing is I really like to tell people what to do. So I figured that sounds like a pretty good job. I always had this innate feeling, though, that I was born to do something more on a global level. And I really loved to share ideas with people. And I thought, I really would love to go into companies and teach them how to better communicate with each other. Because I just saw a lot of disconnect with people having missed opportunities by not listening and communicating well. And as I shared that thought, everybody sort of laughed at me and said, "That doesn't exist. You're not going to make any money. No one's ever going to pay you for that." Well, what I didn't know
back then,
that was industrial psychology. And I didn't know that would then be, the birth of organizational development and everything that we're seeing now. So I went along the path and I decided not to go to law school, and I ended up finding a home in real estate. And I worked in the world of real estate for many years. I started in 1993, and then in 2004, I was able to go and get a coaching certificate. The company that I worked for really wanted us as leadership to be more coaching than just selling and teaching people how to sell. And the moment I stepped into that first day of coaching, I knew that's where I needed to be. And so I started my path in working on doing that. I went back and got my master's in organizational development and leadership. And I just started following that path. And then in 2009, I was introduced to a system called Ninja Selling that was really focused on mindset, skill sets, and actions, and really helping people, again, find their purpose, their passion, and get alignment. So I started down that path. And then during all of this time, I had my son, and that's really when everything shifted for me. I realized that I was on this trajectory of success, but doing it the wrong way because I was always working and I wasn't having any harmony between the work and the life balance. And when my son was about 3 years old, he kind of gave me the wake-up call I needed by, tugging on my jacket one night being like, "Mommy, you're not paying attention to me." And it was right then and there that I said, okay, something needs to change. So I began to listen and I began to be on a quest to find a better way of getting it all done. What are the trade-offs I needed to make? So I started really just creating some real strategies around leveraging time, coming up with ways on how to say no without sounding like I was saying no. And from that, I just kind of fell into my realm of finding my tribe and being able to help so many other women achieve the same things along the way.
Well, let's take that apart for a minute. I really want to touch upon that thing, because I had a guest on just a couple days ago. They talked about we really don't take the opportunity or time to even listen to ourselves. So I had another friend say, God tries to speak to you. He uses his Holy Spirit to talk to you. And then if you don't listen to those two things, your wife yells at you. But you got it in a different way. You got it through a child.
I did.
How do you get people to get to listen to themselves and their circumstances, situations, be able to focus in and say, I'm not fulfilled. Because really
Right.
what you're saying is, whether they're busy, sometimes we look at drug addicts and stuff and it has a real negative connotation, but it's no different than someone who's an uber success person
Mhm.
and they just overachieve. They're trying to fill a void just like the drug addict. It's just they do it a different way.
And I do think that there is something to be said that they will be open to listening when they're ready for the change to listen to. So I can talk with people, but if they're truly not ready for the change, it's really hard for them to look for the signs and to listen for it. And for me, it took me many years. I actually had 3 different breakdowns until I finally woke up and said, oh, I better start paying attention here. But when somebody comes to me and says, okay, I know something needs to change, even though I don't know exactly how to do it, I always start with coming up with what is the vision that they have with who it is they want to become. So I help them create that vision, whether it's a certain level of production in their field, characteristics, whatever it is. Who is it you want to become? And then we back it off from there and we say, okay, if this is the person you want to become, what are the characteristics? What are the habits, the disciplines, the skill set? How does that person run their days? And then we start to develop how to get them from just living and identifying the vision for how do we actually put it into practice. So it's not one size fits all. It's, let's take it and let's find the authenticity. Let's find really the path that's going to work for you in having it.
So how does someone find that place where they're their authentic selves? They're passionate about what they're doing, because a lot of times if you're an entrepreneur or a influencer or thought leader, that type of person, you have a lot of different passions, and a lot of them, like kind of like real estate for you, like restaurants for me. You can fill a lot of your passion up with it, but it's not the thing. It's not
Right.
the thing. It'll scratch your back a little bit, but it won't fill that need.
Right.
So how do you find that passion? It's the thing.
Yeah, I think, it's definitely, maybe during some journaling and kind of seeing again what lights you up inside. But as far as connecting with the authenticity, I think you need to get out of your own way sometimes. I think one of the biggest problems that keep us from showing up as our authentic self is we're trying too hard to please the masses. And it's really hard to be authentic when we don't want to offend anyone or alienate or close ourselves off. So one of the things I really try to do with my clients is to get them clear on who their target audience is and speak to that person. As you speak to that person, you'll always get some people on the fringe that can pull out some nuggets. But when you really know who you're talking with and what your message is, that's going to allow you to show up. For me, I tend to be a little bit silly. I tend to be a little bit more, freeform and lighthearted, sarcastic, and my people resonate with me. I may not connect with everybody, and I've had to learn that that is perfectly okay, because my people will connect with me.
I came up with a term for that, Clara. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
It's called niching down.
I like it.
Niche down. Because if you're not, let me help them. If you're not making money at what you're currently doing, and you think you're in your passion area, you need to niche it down. You need to niche it down. You're, like she said, you're trying to please too many people, trying to reach too many of the masses. Listen, just if there are just 7 billion people that are in your market, you have too many people.
It's so true. And I struggled with that because I would say, oh, I want to work with, the mompreneur. And then I'd be like, but what about women who don't have kids? I want to work with them too. And, oh, but I really like men too. And I think I can help them. But I wasn't showing up the right way. And I wasn't having the real impact. But once I finally said, I'm going all in, it changed.
The way you deal with that is you don't do anything to offend the women who don't have children. Men are always going to be around business. So it's not like you turn them away, but your focus has to be for you, the mompreneur, the woman who has children, is trying to start a business or has a career and trying to move the needle into being an entrepreneur. So let's talk to that person. Let's say they don't know, like they're starting to find their passion. Maybe they're really good at sales like you in real estate, but they realize that the grind of it's not what they want to do long term. How can they position themselves? How can they turn themselves? I understand you said journaling so they can find their passion, but while they're finding it, they need to start doing something, right? Kind of build themselves up. What would you suggest?
Well, I think, again, use what you are doing to fuel your passions. And just a personal example for me, I was in the field of real estate. I actually did not have a passion for real estate. What I had a passion for was teaching people about the power of home ownership to build long-term financial security. I had a passion for coaching my agents to not just be better agents, but to run a business and to show up as a CEO. Now my passion is speaking, being an author, and really making that impact. I still have a real estate license. What I do is I use my real estate transactions to fuel how to pay for my travel, my publishing, all of those. So whether your passion is travel, if it's retiring by the age of 40, if it's, financial freedom, use what you are doing to fuel your passions and really get connected that way.
And you know what I love about what you're saying is you never once mentioned the passion project or the entrepreneurship or whatever it is the person's transitioning to, never once mentioned the money they make from that. I love that because a lot of times is like people who are A-type personalities, who are bosses, they really want to make that money, but sometimes you've got to learn to serve before you can worry about the reciprocal transaction back to you. So
right.
how do you get that mindset? How do you get that mindset?
And you're exactly right. It is a mindset. And that's something that we teach in my ninja selling courses. We actually come right out and we say, stop selling. We're here at a sales training course and we're telling you to stop selling and start serving, because that's what it is. And I had to change my definition of success because I love money and I am a type A personality, but you really do have to show up. So now every day, instead of waking up saying, what deal can I put together? Who can I get to sign a contract? I wake up every day and say, who can I serve today? Who can I be a resource for today? And even at the end of the day, I ask myself 3 questions. It's not, did I put a deal together or did I make money today? The first question I ask is, did I show love today? Then the second thing is, did I inspire today? And then the third thing is, did I contribute positively to the world today? Because if I do those 3 things, it was a successful day. And when you wake up with the concept of, I'm here to be a resource to others, to help people, whether it's in my field or outside of my field, it's all about serving others. And when you serve others, you build trust, you build value, you build relationships, the money will always follow.
Wow. And in the social media community or in the internet marketing community, call that giving value.
Yes.
When you always give in value, value has to return to you.
Yep, sure does.
There's a story that people like to quote talking about a sower. And it says the sower went to sow. And it says this happened and that happened, but it never said the sower stopped sowing, ever. It never says the sower. So if you're called to be a sower, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, if you're an entrepreneur, thought leader, or entrepreneur, you're called to be a sower. You're always sowing seeds. You never stop.
Never stop. Every day. It's, you got to get up and work. But again, when you can affiliate work with adding value, it doesn't feel like work anymore. When you are, called and you're there to help people, I answer questions all day long. It doesn't mean that everybody's paying me. But if I have a way to help someone, I want to help them. Because I know, and I have people coming back to me now, hiring me from relationships I made 10 years ago, because I simply helped them. And you have to remember, it always will come back.
It will. It always come back. It might not even come back from the same person,
nope,
the same place, the same situation. Has a funny way of working itself out.
It does.
So what are you up to right now? How can people find you? And what are you excited about? I know I want to hear about this.
Okay. I got a lot going on. I'm super excited. The biggest thing I would say is today I just launched season 2 of my TV show, which is called The Working Women's Channel with Clara Capano. And I highlight women from all different backgrounds sharing their stories of success, their obstacles, their challenges, the trade-offs that they've had to make. So they can catch that at several places. They can catch it on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, Roku. It's also on my YouTube channel, which is Moments of Clarity. And so I'll be having a new episode every week. And I would love people to watch that, to share it, to tag other people in it that they find, could find value from it. I'm all over social media. So Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, just under my name, Clara Capano. I just launched my second book earlier this year during called Women Who Boss Up. and it's a collaboration with me and 15 other women. And book number 3 is in the works as we speak. So yeah, there's a lot going on in addition to just doing speaking, a lot of virtual summits and sharing my story.
How can people find you?
The best way to find me is they can go to my website, which is just claracapano.com. They can, again, follow me on social media. Those are going to be the best places to find me.
Great. Do you have a favorite quote you'd like to give the people?
I do. One of my very favorite quotes is, life happens at the level of movement, not words, because I think it really reminds us we have to take action. We can't just talk about being a success. We can't just talk about, being great in what we do. We actually have to take movement and take action towards it.
Great. I think that's a lot of people's. I think there's 2 main types of people. I mean, there's a lot of different variations, but the 2 main types are the AP personality, which is analyze and paralyze. Then the other person who is, I'm scared to take action because I don't want to look stupid. I'm afraid of what people will think about me. All that is garbage. You've got to do, they're already talking about you, so you must go and do something.
Exactly.
It doesn't hurt, right? So
doesn't hurt.
If it does, you get up, dust yourself off, and keep moving. I mean, things have changed.
Again, you're not going to please everybody, and that's okay. You do the best that you can, and as long as you show up with authenticity, integrity, and with the purpose and the passion to do the best thing, the right people will show up for you.
Well, Clara, thank you so much for being on today.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching or listening, depending on what platform you're on. Please like, share, subscribe. I want to thank again my guest, Clara Capano, for being on. Thank you and have a great day.